Today's guest is my friend and Grammy winner, Lupe Fiasco. He's a rapper, record producer, entrepreneur, and many more things. And we are going to be wrestling. Who do you think is gonna win? Lupe versus Lupe. Let's go.
So where you want to start? Where should we start in this investigation of Lupe? Lupe and Lupe. We both got the same name.
Yeah. How did you choose the name Lupe?
I had a friend in high school. I used to do theater. Around the same, wasn't really taking rap seriously. And my high school had a really professional theater program, right? And so I joined the theater as a stagehand, moving set pieces and stuff. And so when you're moving set pieces, you have a partner to help lift the other side. So my partner was this guy named Lupe. His name was Guadalupe, and he was Colombian. And
I'm Colombian.
I know. See how this works? See, it's all meant to be, Lupe. So me and him got really close. We got real good friends. We were partners moving the sets and stuff around, so we worked together. And I always rapped. My real name is Wasalu. And so I always used to rap under Lou. So Lou was always like part of like, hey Lou, what's going on? Lou. And so when I met Lupe, I was like, yo, I need a fancier name for a rap name. So I'm gonna take your name. And I took his name, Lupe, and then I became Lupe.
Why did you like that name, Lupe?
How can I put this? So back during it, this is like mid-90s. This is like 96, 97. For some reason, rap had an infatuation with like Italians and like Spanish things, right? So like
I think they still do though, right?
Yeah, like mobster movies.
I feel like rap music really feels super inspired by that, like Latin culture and yeah.
Yeah, like gangster movies and like I guess like the cartel and stuff like that. So you have all this like kind of aspect to it. So that's what we were listening to, and me and my little rap crew, and we just thought it was like, okay, if you're a rapper and if you're at a certain level, then you need to have like an Italian or Spanish sounding like name, right? So it's like, okay, Lupe, and then I had a last name. So we also thought that like rappers need to have like, if you had like a Spanish first name, you need to have a first and a last name, right? So you need to have a first name and a last
Spanish
name.
Spanish too. It must be Spanish.
Yeah, and it has to be something that sounds like cartel or mafia, right? So my name was Lupe Fiasco, right? And then I had another friend, his name, who's in the rap group with me, like his name was Napo Calissimo, right?
Napo Calissimo. I don't even know what that is. It doesn't even mean anything. Okay.
So his rap name was, I think his name was Napoleon or something like that. So Napo for short. And then it was like, no, but you got to have like an Italian last name. And it was like, okay, Calissimo. And Calissimo was like the name of some mobster. So anyway, that's why you get like Lupe Fiasco. And then...
So you guys just felt really hard about it. And you were like, yeah, this name sounds gangster.
Okay, so,
I want to choose this.
So this is how it's set. So that was... We had many names. So that was like the AKA, right? So you were like such and such, AKA, such and such, AKA, AKA. So Lupe Fiasco was like my AKA, right? And we did comes full circle. We did a talent show at my high school, right? In the same theater that I worked in my high school. And they had like a local kind of like party promoter, like DJ announcer type person come to be like the announcer to introduce the acts that were coming in to perform. And so the woman, when she came in, when she said my name, right? And she's like a professional.
What'd she say?
She's like a professional.
Oh my God.
professional name sayer, right? Like that's her job to say names really nice.
Names.
And so I had a group, and so she started to name my friends. She was like, and we got Bishop G, and we got Napo, and we got Doughboy. And then when she got to me, she was like, and now Lupe Fiasco. And she said it in such a way, it was like, that's my name.
Oh, that's so cool. And she said Lupe. Because I realized when I moved here that a lot of American people say Lupe. And I'm like, dude, that's not how you say it.
Yeah, that's how.
So Lupe, she pronounced it correctly.
She pronounced it correctly. She put like a really nice like flair on it and made it sound really like flamboyant. And I was like, oh, okay, that's my name. Snoop Dogg still calls me.
It sounded sexy.
Yeah, it sounded super sexy. It sounded professional. And I was like, oh, I'm Lupe Fiasco now. Like, I'm Lupe Fiasco. I'm Lupe Fiasco now.
I love that name, honestly.
I mean,
I love that name. It's such a great name.
It's your name, so of course you will love it. You have the same name. We almost have the same name.
But you know what? Lupe is not usually a guy's name. It's usually a girl's name. But in a guy's, it's a guy. I think it sounds so cool. I know the whole thing Guadalupe, but Lupe, it just sounds badass. I like it, and it's short. You can remember it easily. Nice.
2 syllables, done. Snoop Dogg still says Lupe.
Snoop
He still
Dogg.
says Lupe.
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 I fucking hate when people do that. I hate when people do that. People say to me like, "You have to think you are at DMV, Lupe." You're like, what?
But you respond.
Terrible.
You got.
I don't like it.
You got to stop responding to it, right? So if people could just be sitting there and they just keep saying
What if
Lupe,
you're gonna? But what if you have to? You miss your chance.
Nah.
You know?
What's your story? So you moved to America from. I need your story, right? Because I know.
You know part
I know
of
a
it.
nice amount of stuff about you, but I think there's.
You do.
I do, but I think that for the sake of your fans and my fans, to give us like the backstory on. So you moved to America from.
So I was born in Colombia,
Which
Cali,
part?
Cali,
Ooh.
Colombia, like the cartel de Cali.
Oh yes.
You will like that. So I was born in Cali, Colombia. I was in Colombia for like 10 years with my family, and then my mom and I moved to Spain. And yes, and when I was 21, I moved here to LA.
Wait, what part of
So
Spain?
I've been like a little gypsy.
What part?
Madrid.
Ah, Madrid. Never been. to
Madrid. So I've been like a little gypsy my whole life. I feel like my whole life I have been an immigrant.
From
My whole life.
From
And it was
Colombia.
such an adjustment from Colombia going to Spain, even though it speaks the same language. It's the culture is so different, the way that people think is so different. So it was a really big adjustment. And then when I moved here, when I was 21, I didn't speak any English. So that was also a big adjustment.
Oh wow. Wow. So you didn't pick up
Yeah.
English? You didn't pick up English at all until you moved to the States?
Yes, no. I mean, hello and like how are you and stuff like that, but I could not carry a conversation in English. I remember when I first came here and like I would go to restaurants with people, with like a group of people, and they will be talking, about just having a conversation, and I couldn't understand anything. It was I felt so helpless and so like out of touch with everything. But then, it was so empowering to really wanting to learn fast.
How did you learn English? How did you start that process?
Just by talking to people, practicing. I didn't go to school. I just lived.
So you just like
I
immersed
learned.
yourself in casual conversations with people until you learned English?
Into the culture. It's the best way. If you have to, you will learn.
Look,
And I had to.
So so which culture do you identify with being the most? Right? You say you're an immigrant. You always feel like an immigrant. Like, do you feel that you're Colombian? Do you feel like that you're Spanish? Like, which one? Or you just like I'm Latina and that's it?
I don't feel like I'm from anywhere. I feel like I am a little bit Colombian, a little bit Spanish, a little bit American, you know, because I spend time in these places, and all of these places have made the person I am today, you know. And I feel like if I'm hanging out with a group of, you know, Colombian people, they're way more Colombian than I am. If I'm hanging out with a group of Spanish people, I'm obviously not Spanish, you know. I look completely different. And yeah, so I feel like I am a mix of everything. I'm a citizen of the world. What about that?
A citizen of the world. Look, okay, so look. Okay. Check this out. Check this out.
Are you making fun of my accent?
No, I like it. It's great. I wish. Listen, trust me. If I had, when I'm not being professional, like when I'm not in situations like this and I have to be professional, like when I'm just around my house, like it's constant accents. So I have a really nice Jamaican accent. There's a really nice, or at least I think they're nice, really nice British accent. I got a really, really wonderful.
Oh, you have to give me a British. You have to give me a British right now, please. It's my favorite.
I can't.
It's my favorite.
Listen, I can't really do it on demand.
Please, a little bit.
I can't do it on demand. So what I will do is throughout the conversation, like I have to build up to it. I'm gonna just throw it out there. It's just gonna come.
Okay.
Right in the midst of
I
response.
will stay alert.
Okay. But when I'm home, it's accents all day. It's all types of random voices that come up. I think I got a bunch of different personalities, but yeah. So
you have multiple personalities.
I think maybe not. I don't know.
That could be a gift.
Maybe
that could be a gift in another way.
Or a good way to get out of a prison charge or something like that. Do you know the origin of our name, Lupe?
It's from a virgin.
Do you know what it means?
Guadalupe, right?
No.
No?
No.
No. Tell me. I don't know. Please, educate me.
School you, okay? So
enlighten me.
Okay, so check this out, right?
Yes.
Check this out.
I want to learn something.
Okay, so what do you think Lupe comes from first?
From the Guadalupe Virgin.
All right, the Virgin of Guadalupe, who is Mary.
Yes.
Right? What is Guadalupe? Where does that come from, right?
I don't know. Tell me.
It's a town, right? So Guadalupe is a town in Mexico, right?
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
So when they say the Virgin of Guadalupe, they mean the virgin of that town. It's a guy who had a vision, right, of the Virgin Mary, right, in that town, and then it became, it became synonymous with that town, right? This image of the Virgin Mary, right? So it became the Virgin of Guadalupe, right? The saint of that town. Okay, so Guadalupe is this town, right, in Mexico. Before Mary, before the vision, it was always this town. So how did the town get that name?
How?
Okay, because it wasn't always named Guadalupe.
Oh,
right?
wow, okay.
It's probably named something else. Who knows?
So how did the town get that name?
All right, so here we go. You ready? Check this out. What language do you think Guadalupe is?
Spanish. Latin.
Why do you think it's Latin?
I don't know, because we're talking about a really, really long time ago.
Okay, so Lupe or Lupo is Latin, right?
Oh, well, I knew that.
Right.
Yes, it's a lupus in Latin. It's a wolf, right?
A wolf, right? A wolf. But what's Guada?
I don't know.
Because it's two, right? It's Guadalupe.
What's Guada?
So Lupe is Latin. Okay. Guada is Arabic.
Oh, wow. And what does it mean?
So Guada is a mispronunciation. And what it is wadi. Wadi. So it's wadi. But when you pronounce it, I guess with like a Spanish tongue, it's like guadi, guada, gua, right? But it's wadi. So wadi is Arabic for river or like riverbed, right? So Guadalupe means river of the wolf, right?
That's so beautiful.
And so there is a river in Spain. The reason that you have an Arabic word for a river in Spain is because of the Moors who conquered Spain.
Right.
So when they conquered Spain, they brought in.
Oh my God, you're full of knowledge.
Look at this.
No, I mean, yes.
Listen.
Yes. I'm like just learning so much. I feel enlightened.
All right, so when the Moors came, right? They were Muslims. So when they came, they brought all these Arabic words to Spain. And so they started to like, that's a river. Like, oh no, that's a wadi, right? That's the river of the wolf. No, that's the Wadi Alub, right? The Wadi Alub, the river of the wolf. So Guadalupe is a mispronunciation of the Arabic word for river and then the Latin word for wolf. And you get river of the wolf, which is a place in Spain. And then the people who were in Spain, when they came over and invaded, South America and Mexico, they started.
They were like, this place
is
gonna
called
be called like that.
Guadalupe. And then the guy, he sees the Virgin Mary, then he becomes Virgin of Guadalupe. Then I'm born, you're born, right? I see my homie, whose name is Guadalupe, who does theater, and I take his name. Then.
You know that Guadalupe is not my real name. I wasn't born with that name.
So me neither. Lupe is not my real name either. See how this works?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
What's your real name? And then how'd you get Lupe?
My real name is so difficult to pronounce. That's the reason I changed it, because it was too hard for people to say.
It's so difficult that you can't even pronounce it? Is that how?
No, I can. So my name is Zuleidi Piedrahita Vergara. And it's very long.
Wait. Say it again.
My real name.
Say it again.
The name I was born with. Okay. Zuleidi Piedrahita Vergara.
Wait. Say the second one again.
You see how you can say it? That's the reason I change it. Okay. Zuleidi. And it's really hard. Like, it's C as in zebra, Uleydy. Zuleidi Piedrahita, which is a town in Spain. Vergara, like Sofia Vergara.
Okay, Vergara and Zuleidi is easy, but what's the middle one?
Piedrahita. That's literally a town in Spain, small town.
Oh, so how did you get
close by Madrid, I believe?
So how did you get the name Lupe then?
So the name came because before I came here, I wanted to change my name because I knew it was too hard to say for people here. So I wanted to change it. And my mom, I have always been really close with my mom. And she's always been really supportive of all my crazy adventures, right? And she's a very religious person. And it came from her, from the Virgin of Guadalupe.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Shout to mama.
I know, right? I know.
Okay, yes. So when did you get the name Lupe? Like when? Like how old were you?
Let's say 2006.
Oh wow, recent. Not that long ago.
2006.
And did you make that like your real name officially, like legally, or did you?
Yes, I did. I did.
Wow. I wanted to change my name to because my full name is Wasalu. Mine's kind of hard to say too.
Wasalu.
The middle one's not Muhammad.
Wasalu what?
Muhammad Jaco. So that's my full name.
Wasalu Muhammad Jaco.
Right. And
that's sexy.
Thanks. Thank you. And I wanted to change my first name so bad when I was a kid. I was like, I hate this name. This name is stupid.
I mean, imagine Zuleidi. I got it in school for that name.
What was your
okay.
What name did they make fun of you in school because of your real name? What they call you?
Okay, Zuleidi. Okay, there was a drink in Colombia named Kool-Aid. Okay, and they will make fun of me changing my name to Kool-Aid, because Zuleidi, the short for Zuleidi is Zuli. And I hated it so much.
Oh, yo. Wait. Hold on. My mind is blown. Check this out. Okay, so first, they used to call you Kool-Lady in school, right? They called you Kool-Lady? Is that how that works? Okay, cool.
I hate it.
They used to call me Wash the Shoe. So I was Wash the Shoe. Yeah, that was me. I was Wash the Shoe.
No.
Like, hey, man, my shoes are dirty. why don't you wash the shoe? And it's like, all right, okay. Wait, so Sulady, Suli is short for Sulady?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, check this out.
Yeah.
You ready for this little tidbit?
Ooh, what?
Little tidbit. Also in high school, because I thought that I was Mexican in high school. I used to hang out with all the Mexicans and the Latinos and Latinas. I did.
Okay, so you were down. You were a cholo.
I was down. My socks.
Down for life.
My socks are really high.
Your socks were up.
The higher the socks,
like this one.
the downer the fool.
Like that.
Oh yeah, we gotta get you some high socks. Okay. Higher the socks, the downer the fool. So. Guess.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, we're gonna get you some socks with your name on them, some Lupe branded socks, so people can walk around and be a cholo.
Okay.
Okay, so check this out.
You have to send those to me.
Guess the name of my Mexican girlfriend in high school.
Lupe?
No,
No, I'm kidding. Mary. Maria. Okay, so I don't know.
Suli.
Stop it. You're kidding me.
I swear.
No, you're joking.
I swear. Listen, I swear. It was Suli.
Okay. Wow, that's random. That's
Look at
really
that.
random.
Look how interconnected and interwoven everything is. Muy loco. How did you get into music? And no like gas. Like you're like a really talented, super good DJ.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
Like,
how do you
where
get
does that
into
come
DJ? Honestly, when I was in Spain growing up, I just learned this word actually. I was like a latchkey kid. I was just free when I was growing up. I was really free. I never had a lot of control, by my parents. So I would go out a lot, and I would just be a.
You were a bad kid.
What is
you were bad.
A little bit. A little bit. I wasn't a bad kid. I was a really good kid.
You were bad.
No, I was a really good kid. I was just a little bit lost. Okay. At that time.
All right.
And it wasn't my fault. That was,
Whose fault was it then? Whose fault was it then?
I don't know. Whose fault?
It was your fault. No, it was your fault. Just take it.
No, listen. So I will go out a lot, and I will, and I just met people, and I will go to this park where, there were all these kids breakdancing and rapping and making music, and I always been really, like I always loved to create, whether it was music or any video. Movies. Since I was a kid, I always liked to create or paint graffiti or whatever. And when I got old enough to be able to go to clubs, I love DJs. And
wait. Who was that? Was that your servant who just came in?
My friend. Sorry.
Was that a?
Why do you say that? This is my friend.
Is that a servant? A ghost?
Okay. Listen, it's my friend, and guess what she brought me? Wait.
A birthday cake? What is this?
It's called a michelada.
Oh.
It's a Mexican drink.
I know what a michelada is.
You know what a michelada
I know what a
is?
michelada is. Oh.
It's my favorite. It's so good. And it's full of
Beer.
vitamins.
And beer, right? It's full of...
And vitamins. Because it has, vegetables inside. A lot of...
It's beer.
Yeah, it's full of vitamins and beer.
Vitamin
Vitamins
beer.
with beer.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's good. I should create that. Vitamin beer.
You're drinking it right now. What are you talking about? You should create it. That's a humongous beer. I just
should
want to put
create
that
a
out there as
brand.
well. So it's huge. It's a lot of alcohol right there. So you just have
Do you drink?
You just have servants who slide in and just like give you platters of food and drinks just randomly throughout the day. Just
That's how I like it, baby.
I like it. I'm not gonna mad.
Do you drink?
I don't. I've never drank.
Are you sober? Never, ever.
There's only
Ever.
Never. There's only 2 times. One time, maybe 2. One real time where I drank, but it was on accident. And I was at a party, and my homie was like, "Yo, you want something to drink?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me get a Sprite." But I'm thinking, in his mind, he's probably thinking like, "Oh, you want vodka with Sprite?" I was like, "No, I just want Sprite." So he bought me like a Sprite with all kinds of whatever in it, and I sipped it, and I didn't know what it was. I was like, "Oh, that's something in there." He's like, "Oh yeah,
Sprite."
I was like, "I just want Sprite." He was like, "Oh, you don't want like drugs in the Sprite?" I was like, "Nah, I just want regular Sprite." So that's the only official time that I've like sipped alcohol and maybe swallowed. But other than that, no.
So how come?
Stop getting away from you sneaking into these clubs. Okay, we gotta talk about how you became a DJ.
So okay, I was sneaking into these clubs. So 13, we moved to Spain. I was just, I had to adjust to a whole complete new culture. So I was really eager to make friends in school, and they made music and did breakdancing, and I got very inspired by them. And I guess that was like my first introduction to music, because nobody in my family made music or act or did anything creative before. So I didn't have that example or that role model to look up to. So it was in the street, honestly. I learned it out. That's how I learned everything. I didn't really, I love in the streets. I wasn't the type of, kid that had, a family that had all those resources, So I have to look for those resources on my own. And going out and just making friends that were DJs and be able to start playing music, when they were not using their equipment. And that's how I pretty much got into music. And then when I moved here, I met I was married before, and my husband was a singer and a bass player. So in 2010, I believe, he was recording an album, and in the place he was recording an album, there was other studios. So I will come to just hang out, and I met friends in this studio that were making other type of music. And I just got really into it, and I'm a really techie person, so I started learning how to produce in Pro Tools at that time. And I loved it, I love to sink my teeth into something and just like ride it until the wheels fall off. And music did that for me. It was so therapeutic, and back then I was suffering like with a lot of anxiety, and music really helped me so much through that. So it was also like a creative outlet for, all the things I've been through.
Interesting.
Yeah. Today's show is sponsored by El Tinieblo Mezcal, an ultra premium artisanal mezcal. Is hand distilled in Tamaulipas, Mexico, at Rancho El Tinieblo. Being single origin allows them to create mezcals that truly reflect the soils of Tamaulipas and the distinct agave that grow there. One thing I love about this brand is their focus on sustainability. They play a big role in mezcal conservation and regulation. And of course, the taste is truly distinctive. My listeners can get a 10% off an online purchase with code LUPE10 at eltinieblo.com. That is ELTINIEBLO.com. Click on Shop Online, and the code is LUPE10.
Who was like your guide in the music space? Is there like some names that you can drop of like people who helped
you mean like a
along?
mentor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Honestly, I have had a handful of mentors since I started creating music. One of them was Roger Sanchez. He's a DJ, New York DJ, and he is a producer as well. And he taught me everything pretty much I know about production. And he was the first person to actually. I remember I went to his studio like when I first started, and he copied his sample drive into my drive. It was like terabytes and terabytes of samples and all sorts of synthesizers, etc. And it was, it meant a lot to me for somebody to like back me up that way, especially being a woman and especially coming from where I come from,
So it's rare to meet like a woman who produces, right? Like I know women who are CEOs of companies, record executives, show promoters, the whole range of the music business. But whenever it comes down to like production specifically, it's such a. It's rare.
Why do you think that is?
I was going to ask you, as a woman, in music who does production, do you bump into a lot of women producers?
No, not at all. Not at all. Very, very few. And I think it's because it's society, we're not taught that we can do those jobs. More and more the tables are turning, but I feel like in the past we were very, very much told what to do and who to be as women. And now the world is changing. It's more inclusion. And I love that. And I feel like at the same time we need to like educate men to be more open-minded, to welcome women into their work, into their environment, because so far it's really hard actually to make a way for yourself in the music industry being a woman and being a producer or doing a man's job or even being a DJ. It's so hard. It's so like the opportunities are not there. And also, in terms of like collaborating with men, I have experienced like sexism or like people blocking me, opportunities just for being a woman or for being in the adult industry,
I'm trying to think of like why that is, like there's a lot of like women songwriters, and like when did kind of like production become such a masculine kind of thing, and like who? It's
because it's a very technical thing. If you want to be a producer, you have to spend a lot of hours with a computer, and with the technology and learning how to work a program or many programs, and learning that whole, how it works and how plugins work is a very, very technical and time-consuming job or, career. It's very... You are by yourself and on your computer for many, many hours. When I started producing, like the first 3 years that I was producing, I wasn't doing nothing else but that. I was on my computer so many hours, like months and months. And I loved it. It was something so different for me. So I think that's why. It's not enough opportunity. I feel like it's not enough opportunity for women. It's not enough mentorship. And it's not enough role models that we can like, oh yes, I can do that too.
I think sometimes like when women are in the studio, and I've worked with women at every level in the music business, and there is this kind of sense that when women come into the studio, it's almost like they're just there for decoration. It's like you decorate this.
God!
You decorate the studio with women, right? And you're there to kind of like show off, like look what I can do. Look what I can. The misogyny of like the music business or the patriarchy of the music business, it's like when you think of what is the role, because there's roles of like, official roles. Like that woman is the senior VP of such and such, right? And that woman is the CEO of this, and that woman is the head of that, and the head of this department, and head of that department, right? But then there's like, okay, well, what are the unofficial roles, right? And it becomes like, well, when I'm in the studio, they're either singing or they're writing, right? Or it's like this decoration, like this guy just brought in a bunch of girls just to kind of be in the midst, right? And I kind of wonder like how, like people like you definitely are subverting that, and I've met women along the way who are changing that narrative, right? But it's definitely there. Where are you with the music? What are you currently doing on the music side of things?
I was making a lot of music, and then in 2020 I stopped for a full year. I just took a break. I was going through a lot of like personal things, and I just decided to take a break. And right now I'm actually starting again to feel inspired, because before I was like, to a whole 2020, I would literally sit in my computer and just trying to get inspired and try to, create something, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. You know what? Have that ever happened to you, that you're going through something personally and it just doesn't come out?
Yeah, but I'm also really lazy, so sometimes I can't tell the difference. It's like
What?
it's like I really
You're
don't want
really
to do this
lazy.
right
Tell
now.
me about that.
I'm really lazy.
Tell me about that. You are?
Maybe I'm lazy. I do go through personal stuff for sure. I definitely go through personal things, and it has an impact on, like you said, you want to like do something for the world. You kind of just want to be internal for a while, focus on your own things, and not constantly be like presentation mode, like, hey, look what I'm doing for you. Be of service to people. But then other times when that's not the case, it kind of comes down to, I've been in the business for so long and I've done so much that when I find myself kind of lapping myself, like coming back around to something that I already did, then I I got to stop, right? Because I'm just I'm not blazing a new path. Like, I'm just doing something that I did before, right? And being
I think that's what happened to me.
Is it? Is that what happened to you? Because that sounds like what I just said.
Happened to me.
Don't take my thing, Lupe. Like, that's my thing. That's my...
I wanted to steal your theory. Anyways, let me. That's what happened
mine.
to me, really.
But
I feel like I was making the same song all over and over again, and I got bored. So I want to change my sound, and I've been looking for exactly what I want to do, but I feel like I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I was on input mode for like maybe 3 or 4 years, and it was just kind of like, I don't feel like I feel like if I create something in those moments, that it's not going to have a real high value, right? Like, because I want to make things that are like classic, that are going to last for 100 years.
What inspires you?
Money.
Inspires you?
Money. Lots of money. No, I think it's like, it's weird being in the music business and like having to do things that you don't want to do is weird, because then you feel like, okay, to be successful in the music business, I have to make songs that sound like this and sound like that. Now, personally and artistically, I don't care about those songs, right? But they're really successful, or they'll open you up to do all kinds of crazy stuff. But it doesn't satisfy me personally, right? And so the personal stuff isn't successful in that way. It's not selling a bunch of records. It's not on the radio. It's not in the clubs. It's just like a thing that you made. But that thing that you made is like really, really inspiring, right? But it doesn't pay the bills. And when you kind of get good at like making music to pay the bills and making music that's, personally satisfying, it gets in conflict. Like, you get in fights with yourself, right? Like, you get in these fights of like, I could always make those big hit records, but they're not going to really mean anything to me, but they're going to pay the bills, and I need to pay the bills, right? And so it's this constant battle of like, what's authentic to me, but then what do I need to sacrifice personally to take care of the bills, and take care of different things that are around me.
The Lupe Fuentes Experience is a production of Say What Media. Have you thought about creating your own podcast but don't know where to start? Working with Say What Media is like having your own personal producer, editor, audio engineer, and distributor, all in one place. From equipment recommendations to engineering and distribution, Say What Media handles the boring stuff, so you can focus on saying what's important. Get started at saywhat.media. I was thinking, an artist like you that have big songs that a lot of people know. And how do you go about, do you ever get tired of having to perform the same songs that you have maybe performed so many times before, and you probably don't feel like it. You want to perform the new shit that you probably just made, right? How do you go about that? That's something that happens to you? Do you feel that way?
Yeah. You have to kind of like, especially when you make things that you don't really
people love
connect with, but people love it, right? But you don't really connect with it, or you're past it, right? Sometimes you just got to close your eyes and do it. You know, there is no coming to terms with it.
You gotta close your eyes and do it.
Literally, you can just close your eyes. And there's so many concerts that I've done where
really
I was on stage with my eyes closed, right? And it was like either with sunglasses on, or, you know, you're so far away from the people notice, right? But your eyes are closed because it's like emotion and passion. But it's really just kind of like, I got to get through this song, you know, and the only way that I can get through this song.
So is it like,
I close my eyes.
This song again.
No, I wouldn't say it like that. It's sometimes on a bigger level. It's like, oh, this city again, you know, like, oh, we're in this venue again. Like we were just here, you know, like a year ago. You know, and you're just kind of like, oh, we're back in this place again. All right, let's go. You know, and it is that type of piece. But it's other times, you know, where it isn't like that. Like you're super excited. And I've done it a few times, but I never try and cheat my fans, you know. So I want to make sure every time I hit the stage that it's popping, that everybody's going to get excited. And what sometimes happen is I'll do like 2-hour shows, you know. So I'm probably contracted to do an hour. But then I'm like, I want to make sure that fans get the most out of this experience. So I'll perform like 10 extra songs, or it'll turn into like a triple encore or something like that, to kind of make up for that, you know, like, man, this night I really didn't want to be here. And sometimes I'll tell fans that, like, man, I didn't really want to be here, but here we are. You're here. I'm going to be a professional about it. Let's go. Let's just do it.
Have you ever said that on the mic, on a show? Have you ever said something like that?
Yes, I had
That's
one.
Ballsy. That's ballsy.
I had one show. It was at it was at a school. It was like at a college, and it was massive. It was like me. There was some like big rock band. I think Third Eye Blind or something like that. It was some big rock band, and it's like, okay, so we can do this show. And I came out and did the I came out, and there was something wrong with like the sound, like the monitor, like I couldn't hear myself or something like that. And I got really, really frustrated and like really, really like insecure. And I left. Like
okay.
One song in, maybe 2 songs in.
Mic drop.
And I left.
Bye. Peace.
And the lady who booked the show was crying. Like she was like literally shaking and crying because she couldn't believe it. The fans were...
How many people were there?
Booing.
Wait a sec.
It was like
How many people were there?
Imagine like a college stadium. It's like a college stadium full of people. Right? So thousands and thousands of people, right? And I just couldn't... I think it was in New York or somewhere upstate New York or something like that. And I was just like, I can't do this. And I left. And we jumped in the car and left. And it was like, I feel like it was a range of emotions, you know, like
really.
It was super.
Like what?
Because I feel like, man, I could have did it, like I could have powered through it, but I didn't want to, you know. It's like I don't want to do that. I don't want to power through it anymore. Like I shouldn't have to power through these things. And I was like, I just want to leave. Like I don't want to be here right now. You know, like this is the last place on earth that I want to be right now. And yes, it's a stadium full of people. I got paid something crazy. I didn't get the money, but it was still like it was a big check. And I was like, nah, I don't want to be here.
That was just an act of rebellion, standing up for your true self, maybe.
But then you get regret. You think like, should I have powered through it? And you're like, it's done. So yeah, that's the only show.
I did something like that. I did something like that for New Year's Eve 2019, I believe. I had a show in LA, And it was a good show. And I just didn't show up. I didn't go. I didn't go. Wow. New Year's Eve. But I was in my head. I was just feeling really insecure and I couldn't. It's a big part of it is how you feel, right? Performing.
Yeah, it is. It is. So maybe like that entertainer or that person needs to have all this random stuff, right, as motivation for them to get on stage, right? And people think like, oh, that person's being egotistical, that person's being Hollywood, or that person's being whatever. But it really might be like the more stuff that they have backstage, the more insecure that they are, more of a motivation they need to get through what this thing is, right? So it's tough. Even when you're on stage having fun and jumping around and dancing and doing all that stuff, it's still like the eyes of the world are judging you. So it's tough. It's a tough job.
And do you think that's natural? I don't think like for a human being, right, a person, it's not natural to maybe have the pressure to entertain or be judged by so many people. And yeah, to be able to go on stage and feel amazing, a lot of people just can't. You know, the pressure is too great.
Especially when I can't have micheladas. So just imagine.
I'm gonna have a little toast, Your Honor.
That's a giant.
You can have a virgin michelada.
Why? Why would I want that?
Do you like tomato juice?
No. Is tomato juice in there?
Tomato. Yeah, this is all tomato juice.
That's gross.
Well, and beer. What do you mean?
And vitamins.
Don't say that.
Tomato juice is gross.
No, tomato juice is so good.
It's gross.
And you see this? It's tajin. It's like a Mexican spice. Oh, so good.
You need micheladas to get through this podcast? Oh my God.
No, listen, right? I love micheladas.
Hey, listen.
What is wrong with micheladas? It's so good.
I'm not knocking it. Enjoy.
Are you judging me?
Yes, I am. I am definitely.
You are? No.
Yeah, I am.
To go on stage, since Lupe Fiasco doesn't drink
No.
sober,
No.
what do you use to change your mind or to feel, how you need to feel before going on a stage?
I listen to very kind of like powerful anthemic music. So I got like a little playlist of like power songs that I kind of listen to get me like hyped up to go on. To kind of set the mood and the conditions. And then that's it. That's all I really can do. I don't really have anything. I don't have any vices or anything like that. So
what's your vice?
I don't have any. I don't have any vices.
Tell me a secret.
I don't have any secrets.
Lupe, don't do this to me. Come on, open up a little bit, honey.
I see where you're trying to take this, and I'm not going.
You're not going there?
No. Listen, you're a very powerful, popular person, right? And I know if I start divulging things to you on your show in the comfort of this one-on-one, that it's going to turn into like front page headlines, and I don't have that type of security to keep the stalkers away. So plead the fifth.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's go in a different direction.
Trying to get me.
I'm gonna be good to you. I'm gonna be good to you.
Thank you.
Don't be scared. Baby, don't be scared.
Stop with this. I see what you're trying to do. It's not gonna work. Okay? It's not gonna work.
What's next for Lupe Fiasco?
Hey! There we go. Man, waiting for COVID to be over. And
you put me on ice.
I put you on tahini. Ice. It's ice in the tahini. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. A little bit ice with tahini.
There you
Sounds
go.
Good.
I waiting for COVID to be over, right? So we can go back on the road, And then I want to go see my mom. I haven't seen my mom in since COVID. So I gotta go see her. See the fam. And then I just want to be away for a little while. Like go to Japan or something like that. Just kind of vibe.
Why Japan? Why always Japan?
I love it. It's a great place.
What do you love so much about it?
I like the swords and the fighting and the vending machines.
I always see the swords on your social media.
The vending machines.
Do you train every day?
Yeah. Train every day. Mm-hmm. For the most part, sporadically throughout the day. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm just sitting here doing nothing, I'll put on my sword, start chopping
That's
stuff.
so nice. I put on my sword. So if somebody comes into your house in the middle of the night, okay,
Yeah.
unannounced, you have this sword. Okay. What will you do? What will happen?
If somebody came into my house, I'd shoot them. I'd definitely shoot them. If it was like a...
you have guns.
Maybe. Break into my house and find out, Lupe. How about that? Why don't you... No, I'm just joking.
Where do you live, Lupe?
I live in a secret...
It seems like...
I live in a secret
It seems like
area.
it's one of our United States best kept secrets.
Open Google Maps. Open Google Maps and just type in Lupe, and then I live there. It'll pop up like Lupe lives here.
That's where Lupe lives.
I put your house might come up. No, I mean, if somebody came in my house, the first thing I wouldn't go for is a sword. Like for me, the sword isn't about self-defense. It's more about like self-training, self-refinement, you know. My guns are for self-defense and all that stuff, but you know, hopefully no one comes in my house. Don't send anybody to my house, Lupe, for secrets and spice. Okay?
I'm not gonna. What if I need some tahini? Who am I going to ask?
Yo, what's next for you?
What?
You got this podcast is finna be a amazing success. It's not on all kinds of wood, but yeah, you excited about your podcast?
I'm so excited about the podcast.
Any plans for the
Thank you
future?
for being on.
Any plans?
Yes. I mean, I have so many plans. This is the very first episode.
Bam!
So I am so happy.
Lupe
That is
versus
Lupe versus Lupe.
Hey!
Listen, do you remember? Long time ago. Maybe this was like 2016, something like that. And you sent me this album cover.
Oh yeah.
Lupe versus Lupe.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yes.
You remember?
Yes, I do.
Do you have it there? No.
gonna find
Don't do
it.
this to me. No, please. No. It's bad. It's bad.
No, it's not bad. So hold on. Let me do this. Let me save it. Yeah, okay. I just pulled it offline. So yeah, for folks that don't know. So listen, fans of Lupe Fiasco and fans of Lupe Fuentes, make us an album cover, right? This would be like a first like fan thing, right? Like make winner of like the winner who makes the best album cover of Lupe versus Lupe. What should we give him? Like a free T-shirt or something like that?
What about this? The winner, we will give him a free t-shirt. And if we ever do a collab, we'll use it.
Ooh.
Somewhere.
Ooh.
We'll use it.
Okay, so check it. So check this out, y'all. This was the this was the it's nice. It's a nice picture. It's nice. It's nice young you. Look at this. I'm gonna just show it. There it was, everybody. So that was that was the cover to the Lupe versus Lupe mixtape, but we need a new one. Yo, we should do. You know what? We're gonna do a song.
A new one.
Yeah, we gotta do a song. We're gonna do some songs because I think it's only right for there to be a real Lupe versus Lupe mixtape floating around. Maybe an EP or something like that.
So, are you vegan?
No.
You're not vegan? I thought you were.
No.
You're like super healthy.
Why would I be vegan? I'm healthy because all the meat that I eat. That's what you're saying. Healthy because of the meat. The meat.
The meat. Which meat?
You should put some chicken in that michelada.
Some
Pollo.
beef in that
Michelada
michelada.
pollo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, so
It actually has a pickle. Wait. Do you like pickles?
what is this drink that you're drinking? Is there anything else in there? Is it like fish sticks in there?
It's a house, it's a fish stick in there, it's a piece of pizza.
This is a ridiculous drink. It's a ridiculous drink.
To all of the fans of micheladas out there, they understand me.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it at all. Where we at? All right, so your podcast, the Lupe Fuentes Experience, is jumping off. Episode number 1. Yay, Lupe versus Lupe. The first episode. This is
Yay! Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Lupe Fiasco. Stay tuned for next week because I got more heat for you. Make sure to subscribe, leave me a review, and a star rating on Apple Podcasts, and spread the word on social media using #LupeFuentesExperience.